Good evening. I'm Mark Gooding, ZL2UFI in Upper Hutt.
And I'm Debby Morgan, ZL2DL in Upper Hutt.
I'm Rosemary Boshier, ZL1RO in Auckland.
And I'm Stephen McNeill, ZL4HG from Christchurch.
And I'm Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF in Nelson. And together we bring you the NZART official broadcast for February 2020. Good evening, everyone. Leading tonight's NZART official broadcast is Presidential Comment. Here's our NZART President, Mark Gooding, ZL2UFI. Mark?
Good evening, everyone. I hope you all had a good break over the Christmas, New Year, and we are well into 2020, the third decade of the new millennium. This last month, I have met with our Treasurer, Evan Sayer, whom I'm pleased to announce has agreed to stay on as the Association's Treasurer for at least another 18 months, taking him through to at least Conference 2021. Evan and I have commenced a review of the accounting and membership packages at NZART headquarters with a view to moving them both into the cloud. This is to provide a modernisation and update to both, plus a chance to redesign them, making both fit for purpose. I will update you all as this occurs. Also, again this month, I've met with the AREC National Director, Don Robinson, ZL2TYR. He is awaiting approval of his business case to take AREC forward over the next few years. Once his financial approval comes through, Don will share his vision for AREC and what he has in store. Over this last weekend, I hope you've all managed to get out and take part in the Jock White Field Day contest. I was active from my local branch in Upper Hutt. As this is pre-recorded before the event, I can only hope that both the bands and the weather played their part and that we all had a great weekend. Later in this broadcast, you will hear about an article on the supply and sale of unrestricted two-way radios. When this article is available, please read and follow the rules set out by RSM. Failure to follow these rules will expose you to possible prosecution, which I'm sure none of us want. I also expect to have the remaining Central Region Councillor position filled soon, and will announce this as soon as possible once the position is approved by Council. This will bring the Executive Council back to full strength. And finally, having attended his wedding over last weekend, I wish to congratulate Stuart Watchman, ZL2TW, ex-President and current Midlands Region Councillor, on his marriage to his new wife Jodie. It was a great pleasure to be present at this event. That's all from me, and back to you, Jim.
And thank you, Mark. The President of NZART, Mark Gooding, ZL2UFI. Papakura Amateur Radio Club Branch 65 is holding a car boot sale on the 29th of February at their club rooms, Wellington Park, 1 Great South Road, Papakura. It's next to Pack and Save Takanini. The sale will start at 8 a.m. and is expected to finish at approximately 12:30 p.m. Now, there's no charge for buyers or sellers, but all sellers are restricted to 1 car park of space. It's a boot sale. The club will have refreshments and seating areas available. The sale is radio-related, so any radio-related materials can be offered for sale or free to a good home. Parking beside the club rooms will be restricted to sellers, so parking on the day will be a bit limited. Any unsold or unwanted materials must be removed at the end of the event. That's the Papakura Amateur Radio Club Branch 65 car boot sale next Saturday, the 29th of February. Puke Amateur Radio Club Branch 53 NZART gives notice tonight of their market day for 2020 to be held on Saturday, March the 28th. The venue is the Paengaroa Community Hall, 4 Old Coach Road in Paengaroa. The venue will open from 6:30 a.m. Breakfast will be available from 7:30 a.m. and the sale, it commences at 10 a.m. For further information and table bookings, email sydrow@extra.co.nz. That's sydrowe@extra.co.nz. Or see the full details on page 40 of your Jan-Feb 2020 break-in. Te Puke Amateur Radio Club Market Day on Saturday, March the 28th. To Upper Hutt now on our monthly broadcast report from our NZART Business Manager. Here's Debby Morgan, ZL2DL.
Thanks, Jim, and good evening, everyone. How time flies. We're at the end of February already, so a very belated Happy New Year, everyone. First of all, it's time to send in any nominations for the annual awards to be presented at the AGM in Shantytown. If you know of someone you would like to recognise for services to the association, please send your nomination together with a brief summary of their achievements to me by the end of March to give me time to get certificates and engraving done ready for presentation at the AGM. Awards to be considered are life membership to NZART, Amateur of the Year, and the ZL1HV Arthur Jumbo Godfrey Award, the latter being specifically to recognise those people in a branch who have gone above and beyond for the branch. Speaking of the annual conference, the registration form is now available on our conference website, with regular update being posted. To view this website, please go to nzart-conference.nz. The organising committee appreciate your early registrations, as it is tricky organising this remotely. We are pleased to advise that once again, RWB Communications have donated a radio to be raffled at conference. Thank you to Richard Binns and the team for your ongoing support. Richard and Wendy will be attending the conference, however, due to the location, will not bring any gear with them, but will have a number of brochures available for those interested. Richard has also advised there will be a number of conference specials, so make sure you bring your credit cards. Finally, last week I posted out renewal reminder statements to those who have yet to pay. My apologies if you have received this in error, as you may have paid. However, the significant number of deposits to the bank account in November and December can cause some members to be overlooked. Therefore, if you feel you have paid but are yet to receive your January-February break-in, please send me an email advising the method of payment and the date. Once payment is confirmed, I will forward your break-in. Similarly, I do have a number of deposits to the bank account that have no detail at all. This makes it very difficult for me to reconcile to the appropriate member. So again, please contact me. Well, that's all from me, Jim. Back to you.
Thank you, Debbie. Debbie Morgan, ZL2DL, the NZART Business Manager. A heads up tonight on information soon to be published by the NZART Administration Liaison Officer, Don Wallace, ZL2TLL. Since the introduction of the prohibition notice for unrestricted two-way radios came into force in October 2018, NZART has fielded a number of questions about how it has and is to be applied. No matter how you intend to buy or sell your radio, e.g. on Trade Me, at a junk sale or privately, you need to have a licence to supply. This is easily applied for via the RSM website and is free of any costs to obtain. As amateurs, we must comply with the rules of the prohibition notice, or RSM have indicated that this exemption will be removed for amateurs and opportunity to own and operate these transceivers will be lost. Headquarters info line on the 1st of March will contain an FAQ, or Frequently Asked Questions, update for amateurs. This FAQ will also be included in March-April Break-In, due out in early April. This follows on from two previous articles in Break-In, the November-December 2018 issue, page 7, and the March-April issue 2019 on page 6. That information from the NZART Administration Liaison Officer, Don Wallace, ZL2TLL. To Waro News now, and it's a very good evening to Rosemary, ZL1RO.
Thanks, Jim, and good evening, everyone. I hope you've all had an enjoyable holiday season. Did you make some New Year's resolutions, and was one of them to get on the air and get more involved in amateur radio this year? In the past, Waro members have been NZART councillors, and many have held positions at branch level. How about coming on the Waro Monday Night Net on 3.695 MHz from 8 p.m. and enjoying a chat with like-minded YLs? All ladies are invited to get together during the Puke Radio Club's annual Market Day at Papakura on Saturday, March the 28th. Meet in the usual room about 10:30am for morning tea and chat. All YLs are welcome and do not have to be Wara members to attend this informal gathering. A reminder to Wara executive members that your annual report should be with Secretary Val ZL2FO by mid-March or before, so they can be in the next bulletin, please. We are still searching for a YL or YLs to take up the challenge of being our Wara Broken Page compiler. Help is available to do the job, and you should contact Topsy ZL2LS for further information. The Australian YLs are holding a Lara meet from October the 2nd to the 5th this year, and are looking for expressions of interest from YLs who are thinking of attending the meet, which is being held in Bendigo, Victoria. OMs are welcome at the meet and they're guaranteed a good time. If you're considering going to a Lara meet, let Topsy ZL2LS know, and she'll advise the organisers how many might be attending from New Zealand. It's only an expression of interest at this stage and not a commitment. And you'll find Topsy's email address inside the front cover of any Wara Bulletin magazine. Now here's a late news item. All YLs from the Greater Auckland area are invited to a morning tea get-together to be held at the Papakura Radio Club's rooms in conjunction with that club's car boot sale on Saturday the 29th of February, starting at 10am. All YLs are welcome to come along. You don't have to be a Wara member. That's all from Wara for this month, Jim. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, Rosemary. Rosemary Boshier, ZL1RO, reporting for Waro. Nelson, Branch 26, is hosting Westfest 2020 in Murchison over the weekend of April 18th and 19th. It'll be held at the Murchison Bowling Club, 24 Wallace Street in Murchison. Registrations at $10 a head commence at 9:30am on the Saturday, with Westfest proper starting at 10:30am. Saturday's hours for Westfest will be 10:30am to 12:30pm, lunch 12:30 to 1:30, with the afternoon session running 1:30 through until 5pm. On the Sunday, activities will commence at 9am and finish at 12:30. Now, the organisers are looking for presentations from anyone with a theme of interest to our hobby. Anything will be considered, filling a time slot from 15-minute increments up to 45 minutes. A whiteboard, overhead projector, PowerPoint projector, etc. will be available for presenters. A sales table for any pre-loved equipment will operate, and there'll also be a raffle to help defray expenses. Participants need to organise their own accommodation and meals. You're asked to help by conjuring up people to present a paper. Now, contact for information and registering your presentation is to Stuart Robinson, ZL2STR, and you can email Stuart at strobnz@gmail.com, strobnz@gmail.com, or you can telephone him 03 547 5036, 03 547 5036, or 022 459 0415, 022 459 0415. Westfest 2020 in Murchison over the weekend of April the 18th and the 19th. Finally, in tonight's official broadcast lineup, it's Branch News. Here's Stephen McNeill, ZL4HG.
Thanks, Jim, and Happy New Year, everyone. Here's a roundup of activities from your area. And we'll start 2020 off with a few events from the Whangarei Amateur Radio Club, NZART Branch 28. First, the next combined club's morning tea will be on the 26th of February. Then on the 4th of March, which is Wednesday, the club meeting will see Brian Winger, ZL1BSW, talking about writing software for microcontrollers like the Arduino Uno. To the Hibiscus Coast, NZART Branch 80. On Wednesday the 26th of February, there will be an Earth Station project meeting at 7:30 p.m. at the club rooms. Also, the annual general meeting is on the 11th of March at 7:30 p.m. at the club rooms, which is of course on the Papakura Road. To Wellington NZART branch 50, and the next social group meeting is on Tuesday the 25th of February from 1:30 p.m. at the QTH of George ZL2AG on 14 Vasanta Avenue in Nio. The annual general meeting for branch 50 will be on Sunday the 22nd of March at 1 p.m. at the QTH of Mike ZL1AXG, which is 2 Derry Hill in Churton Park. There is also a shed workshop on Sunday the 1st of March at midday at the QTH of Mike ZL1AXG. There will be a catered light lunch, then a discussion with NZART branch 74 members. Then at 1 o'clock, a presentation by Charlie Morris, ZL2CTM, on homebrew transceivers and receivers. Now, Charlie's experimental work is followed by a worldwide audience of homebrew and QRP aficionados, so well worth looking to. Over to the South Island and NZART branch 26, Nelson. The next general meeting will be on Wednesday the 18th of March, where the guest speaker will be Eric, ZL2BMI, and the topic, QRP SSB transceivers and the Sugar Cube. Nearby, Marlborough NZART branch 22 has its annual general meeting on the 12th of March. And just to note here that the Marlborough and Nelson amateur radio clubs have their combined barbecue and fox hunt on Saturday, March the 14th. It'll be held in the Carluke Hall in the Carluke Domain in Rye Valley from 11 a.m. onwards. See your branch newsletters for details. There will be facilities for cooking and the usual events such as the fox hunt or the ever-popular Toss the Tate. If you're travelling and need directions, call on the Blenheim 695 repeater. And finally to Otago NZART branch 30, where meetings are held on Wednesday evenings at 7:30 p.m. at the club rooms on McAndrew Road. On Wednesday, February the 26th, the topic will be the Resilience Project. And on Wednesday, March the 4th, there will be a visit to the Karatai Road site, weather and ground conditions permitting. And if nothing else, it's a chance to check out the excellent views from Highcliffe. Well, that's all from me. Back to you, Jim.
Thank you, Stephen. Stephen McNeill, ZL4HG, reporting from Christchurch. The next official broadcast of NZART will be made by ZL6A at 8 p.m. on Sunday, the 29th of March 2020. This is ZL6A, headquarters station of the New Zealand Association of Radio Transmitters, concluding the official broadcast for February 2020. Good night, everyone. Good night now.